Hey, good evening, and welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. It is Wednesday, October 9th, and thank you so much for being here. We're going to look again at Proverbs 15 tonight, especially verse 16. Just want to remember we need to keep our thoughts and prayers for the folks in Western North Carolina and now for the folks in the Florida Peninsula who've been inundated by yet another powerful hurricane. Pray for God's safety, protection, justice, and awareness. In Proverbs 15, verse 16, there's a little section here, verses 15 to 17. But verse 16 is this. It says, "Better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth and turmoil." Better a little with the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. Now, this is not a recommendation for poverty. It's important to see that. Solomon's laying out for us what's really significant in life. Great wealth will not bring peace by itself. And yet we expend so much energy trying to get stuff. Even if we're, moderately poor or we don't have much, we still want stuff. Sometimes we want it more than some of the rich folks do. Solomon is telling us here that what is important is the fear of the Lord. That's where we're secure. So whether you have a little or a lot, if we have the fear of the Lord, we are where we need to be. But let's look at the second half of the proverb. The fear of the Lord, a little bit with the fear of the Lord, is better than great wealth and with turmoil and chaos. Now, why is that? As I said a minute ago, wealth doesn't bring satisfaction. It doesn't bring peace. Here's a couple things about wealth. 3 things. First, wealth is temporary. It lasts only for a moment. The storms are an indication of that. People who thought they had a lot, they don't have anything. Jesus tells us our wealth, our material wealth, can just vanish overnight. Okay, so the first thing is it's temporary. The second thing is that it's misleading. It doesn't bring satisfaction. It doesn't bring hope. And then the third thing that it does, wealth brings anxiety and fear because then we try and keep it. So it's temporary. It doesn't produce satisfaction. And thirdly, it brings anxiety. But if I am confident with a little, and I'm with God, I know I have access to all the riches of the kingdom of heaven. I have access to the secret of having relationships, and that is loving God first so I can love my neighbor, so I can care for my family, so I can be more invested in God. That way I can care for my wife. I can have real love and real security. Everything is not hinged upon keeping a certain amount of possessions. Remember, Jesus says in the Gospels, he says, a man's life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. He's not saying we shouldn't have possessions. He's just saying that's not what life is about. And that's what Solomon is teaching here in Proverbs 15:16. Better a little with the fear of the Lord. That means you're secure. You're confident. Than the great wealth, which, as I mentioned a minute ago, it's temporary, it doesn't satisfy, and it brings anxiety. And whether you have huge amounts of dollars or just a few, You purchase that one thing that you've been wanting to get. Let's say we're poor, and we purchase that one thing we've been trying to get. We're relatively poor, and we get it, and it doesn't bring anything. Hi, Echo. What does it do for us? It doesn't produce anything of significance or value, because we start worrying about it. We start worrying about losing it. We start worrying about keeping it. It becomes a source of great frustration to us. And that's what happens when we try and acquire wealth and make that more important than the fear of the Lord, of knowing God, of honoring Him, of trusting Him. So that's all the proverb is saying to us tonight. And it's such a key for us to be content. Better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. Because it's temporary, it doesn't satisfy, and it brings anxiety. Fear of the Lord is secure because it's ours forever because of Christ's commitment. Immensely satisfying to us because God's faithfulness to us. And we're secure with God, so there is no anxiety. Better. The fear of the Lord and a little than great wealth and turmoil. Give that some thought. It's one of those passages that are anchor for us, and we need to hang on to that, especially in these uncertain times. Again, love your thoughts, your feedback. Look forward to talking tomorrow, and you have a great night. Bye-bye.